Futbol Americas continues here on ESPN with some news about the 2026 World Cup, which we know will be held between the United States, Mexico, and Canada. According to the British press, the 2026 final will be played in Dallas. That's just about, 9 months after John Sutcliffe told us the same thing. Sun Sport are reporting AT&T Stadium, home of the Cowboys, beat out MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, host the final. Martin Lipton is the reporter. Let's give him some credit for breaking the news. Herc, what do you think? Did FIFA get it right? AT&T Stadium hosting the 2026 World Cup final.
Yeah, let's give him some credit for breaking the news that John Sutcliffe broke the news on this very show. What was it? Last year? All right, cool. The right choice. I mean, given the circumstances, and let me talk to you about these circumstances, the lack of foresight from these venues and their ownerships. I mean, MetLife, New York, that area, you know who the owners are? The Giants, the Jets. So the Giants and the Jets and their ownership group didn't have the foresight to put a stadium that could potentially have soccer dimensions or be in some capacity expandable. Guess who also didn't have that foresight? SoFi Stadium here in Los Angeles, which is Stan Kroenke, which is really ironic because you would think an owner of not one, but two soccer teams in two different parts of the world would have the foresight to build such a spectacular stadium and say, one day, maybe, I know the World Cup is on the horizon, Los Angeles can host a World Cup final. Why don't I make it expandable? Why don't I make it so it has the dimensions that are FIFA approved and its requirements? Guess what? Arlington, Dallas, it doesn't have the dimensions either. But Jerry Jones doesn't care. He's willing to rip up his stadium, rip up those stands for the dimensions to go in to have a FIFA World Cup. He's willing to do that because guess what? He knows exactly what the World Cup final is and what it will generate for his city, what it will generate for that state, what it would mean for Arlington. Right choice? Sure, because where are you going to have it? I mean, Chicago, Soldier Field? No. Miami? No. Is it just a lack of foresight? It's infuriating because it should be in Los Angeles. Again, it should be in Los Angeles.
It's the right choice because we know what the motives are here for FIFA, right? The motives are always down to money. So this is the most profitable of choices. And we've said that for a very long time. One, if you look at the luxury suites, AT&T Stadium has a ton of them. You can make a lot of money there. Beyond that, Herc, though, the roof is important, right? You gotta control for TV. You want your final to go off regardless of heat or rain. In New York, you don't have that guarantee. At SoFi, I guess you've got the guarantee because of the roof, but obviously, the limitations from, width, length, all that is the issue with SoFi. There's a lot of people on the coast, I think, who are kind of, maybe bitter's the wrong word, but surprised at this. I think a lot of folks thought New York, LA, those are the obvious ones. But Dallas here makes a lot of sense. The point you bring up about Jerry Jones, very important. He's got to nail the field for this because this isn't going to be, and I was there for the Barcelona-Real Madrid preseason Clásico where they kind of, they bring in the grass that they've grown outside the stadium and they bring it in pieces, they wedge it together. And that might get you through a one friendly, but that's not going to cut it at the World Cup. What FIFA wants from their fields is a lot more. So Jerry Jones usually gets what he wants, Herc, but he's going to have to nail this field because you're in an indoor stadium for a World Cup final, and that could get ugly if it's not done right.
Usually gets what he wants. Have you not been watching the NFL playoffs? Look, he's got to get it right no matter what, and it's not going to be a one-off like you see in these friendlies where they roll out the field. They're going to, if anything, rip up that turf and put the field over it and let it cement and stick for a while so it can be used during this World Cup process. I don't think it's just going to be you play for the final. There's going to be some group games there. There's going to be whatever the case may be there. So it needs to be intact. Absolutely. But I've got no doubts that it will be intact. I'm just more lamenting what you just said about the people out on the coast in New York and Los Angeles. If it wasn't Los Angeles, the number two choice was obviously New York. But I can't believe it wasn't Los Angeles. I mean, we can't go to the Rose Bowl. You can't use the Rose Bowl. It's outdated. I know it's historic, but it's historic for a reason. They wouldn't upgrade it to the liking of FIFA with the plush seating and everything else. So SoFi just made sense. And the lack of foresight here by Stan Kroenke, who is a soccer guy. The Kroenkes are soccer people.
Allegedly.
Listen, man. This is their business. This is their money. They're in this business. They are soccer people. The lack of foresight here is insane to me.
Saturday, February 4th, Herc, I believe is the date we're going to get the official kind of World Cup site schedule. So mark that on your calendars. You can start your planning early for 2026.